I'm a former athlete and corporate researcher who became bedridden for years. Changing my diet changed my life. Now I'm a health journalist, and I get to interview some of the most fascinating people in health today. I'm Alex. This is Healthy News. And second, earthing seems to normalize metabolic and endocrine functions, so blood sugar gets lower and normalized. Your cortisol level will normalize if it's out of whack. Like my cortisol level was obviously really out of whack, and there was an early study with about 14 people showing people with all sorts of different cortisol curves, and they were just all over the place. And after a few weeks of earthing, 13 out of the 14 people had their cortisol curves normalize, and people started to report they were falling asleep more quickly and slept more deeply after they'd been earthed for a while. So that's pretty amazing. The other thing is that it normalizes thyroid function. So if you're on thyroid medication, you really have to watch how your thyroid is doing and have it tested so you don't end up taking too much thyroid medication, because you might find that earthing has normalized your thyroid and you actually need less thyroid medication. And finally, another really exciting thing about earthing is that it thins the blood. So the outer surface of your cells all get a negative charge. So it's like magnets repelling each other. And if you look at the blood, a drop of blood under a dark field microscope before and after earthing, and I'm only talking about like 30 or 40 minutes of earthing, you'll see that the blood cells actually spread out and they normalize. They start to look very pretty and circular as opposed to like clumped and irregularly shaped. So thinning the blood is another thing, another huge benefit of earthing. Obviously for heart patients, but also for people like me who have Lyme. I'm taking herbal antibiotics, and I've noticed that I've started to react more to my herbal antibiotics as thinner blood, we think, allows these herbal antibiotics to go deeper into my system than they've been able to go before. So it's a really powerful tool for a lot of health conditions. Okay, so that's all supporting the first piece of earthing, which is getting that missing electron from the earth, or actually getting the missing electrons from the earth. The other piece is discharging EMF, and I've got a bunch of little things here to demonstrate how it works. So I mentioned before that you can actually earth yourself inside, and here I am sitting next to an outlet in my house. The bottom hole that's more circular is the grounding in your electric system. And that goes out to a grounding wire that is usually attached to a grounding rod made out of copper that's driven into the earth on maybe 8 feet, depending on where you are and who your electrician was. And by connecting to that, obviously it's conductive, and that will conduct the electrons to you. That's why you can earth inside. But you can also discharge EMF, which is amazing. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So first, before you plug into an outlet in your home or your office, you want to see if it's grounded. And earthing.com, Clint Ober's site, sells these little outlet checkers. And so if you plug it in and these two orange lights light up, that means you're grounded. So we're grounded here, so my lights light up there. If you're not grounded through your outlet, and some people recommend doing this anyway, just having a dedicated grounding wire coming into you, you need to get your own dedicated grounding rod and wire to attach to your indoor grounding device. And this is an example of one from the earthing.com site. Sorry if this feels like an ad, I just need to show you what's available. So there are different ways you can get grounded. Here, this is a grounding wristlet. It's so simple, it's just, conductive piece of metal right here. And you can actually snap grounding cord onto it. And then you plug it in. And then you put it on pretty much anywhere in your body. If you're just going to have one grounding device, this is the one to get. It's the least expensive, and you want to put it on your foot on the K1 spot, and that is right here. Sorry, my feet are dirty. I've been out on the earth. You want to put it right here between on the ball of your foot, in between the first and second toe. So just like that. And that's basically how I grounded myself for the first month or two, since I learned about grounding, and I slept like this too, and it actually works. Another way to ground yourself is with a grounding mat. And this is a rubber, all natural rubber mat, and it's impregnated with carbon. So carbon's conductive. So you can plug your little thing into here, snap it on, and this will also ground you also. And this is a neat way to get grounded when you're working on your computer. You can discharge EMFs this way and get all the benefits of getting the electrons as well. Now, if you want to know, so we checked the outlet, so we know that's working. And if you're not sure if your grounding device is working, there's actually another little product here to check if your grounding device is working. And this is an earthing connection tester. So I'm going to plug it in. And my grounding mat is plugged in. So when I touch the little thing right here, there's going to be a light that'll light up showing that I'm actually grounded. That go on? Yeah, the green light went on. So I'm grounded. So I'm going to drop this. I'm not going to touch it. And you'll see that the green light goes off because I'm not grounded. Now the interesting thing about this little device is that I've gone around my house to see where else I can be grounded. And our plumbing here in our house, it comes in on copper pipes and it goes out in iron pipes. So all of the plumbing in our house is grounded because it's touching the ground. It's metal, it's conductive. And so I've gone around, plugging this in and touching different things to see if they're actually grounded, and I found out that all the plumbing in our house is actually grounded. So if the grounding checker isn't high-tech enough for you, I have a voltmeter here. You see that? I have it on the AC setting, and what I'm going to do, and this measures, this can show that you're discharging EMF. So I'm going to put this in, again, not in the top two slots, not in the rectangular slots. You can't get electrocuted. So I'm just going to put it in the grounding slot down here, the round one. And then I'm going to test how different my voltage is versus the grounding rod in our house. So I don't know if you can see that. It's like 0.7 something millivolts right here. And now I'm not an electrician, I'm not an EE, so I can't tell you exactly what that level means, but this is measuring the amount of EMFs I'm being exposed to right now. Now, what's going to happen when I pick up something that's grounded, like my grounding mat, is that immediately the voltage in me is going to go down, and I hope you can see that it went all the way down to 0.006 of a millivolt. And then I'll drop my earthing mat again. Now I'm not grounded, and my voltage is going up to 0.7. So again, I don't actually know what these numbers mean by themselves. I know relative to each other, 0.007 or 0.002 or whatever you're going to get when you're grounded is, a lot less than 0.7. And it's easy to do that math, right? But I only know the difference, relative to each other. So when I was talking to Clint Ober a few times this week, he talked about just starting out grounding. And he said to start out, ground yourself twice a day by going outside and just putting your feet on the lawn or the dirt or the sand about 30 minutes a day, twice a day. And that's a good way to start out. And then I also feel that grounding yourself inside while you're sleeping is a great time to ground because you're not walking around all over the place, and you can get, 8 hours of grounding while you're sleeping. And you also get all those benefits of having more restful and deeper sleep when you're grounded, the kind of things I've experienced. I also like to ground myself when I'm near a lot of electronics, like my computer. So that's why I like this grounding mat when I'm in my office, so I can dispel those EMFs, but also still be getting the electrons. And again, the Tour de France riders use grounding to help themselves heal more quickly. They have something called a grounding sack, a recovery sack. And they have been in major bike accidents. They sleep in the recovery sack, and they say that they can actually get back on their bike the next day after doing that, whereas before, without the grounding, they would have been out and not be able to get back on their bike. A couple points of caution. The blood thinning aspect of earthing is very strong, and so if you're on Coumadin, you need to be working with your doctor to make sure that you don't overly thin your blood. And the second one is that if you're on thyroid medication, you need to get your levels checked frequently to make sure that you're not taking too much thyroid medication, because again, your thyroid can normalize while you're earthing. So earthing, again, is really about two things. It's restoring those lost electrons from the earth to us, and it's about discharging EMFs in our environment. And I was talking to Clint recently, and he said that after about 16 weeks, most of your body systems that are going to be normalized by earthing will be normalized. So about 16 weeks to see the full effects of it. So I hope you learned something today. I think you should try it out. I think everybody should try it out. It costs nothing. There's nothing harmful from walking on the earth. We were designed to do that. And you might end up walking around like I do, trying to decide if something's insulating or conductive all day. So don't get too obsessed about it, but it has just been an amazing thing for me, and the research I've seen, it may be early, but it really does support all these health benefits of earthing. So enjoy. This is Alex of Med Nauseam Blog reporting for National News TV in California.